been a while since I've done one of these, and I'm going to explain all. Check it out right here, right now. Hi, welcome to the channel. My name's Dan Beasley, and this channel is all about inspiring intentional discipleship, helping you go deeper in your faith and living it out in the world today. I'm living my faith out in the world today. I'm a vicar in the Church of England, and I am in a new role in the Church of England. I'm in my new study, in my new house, next to my new church. It's all new. I did a video about moving on to another place 7 months ago now. You can check it out here if you want to see that. And that's about where I was temporarily for 6 months, looking after 4 churches. It was amazing. I did say in that video that I would record stuff up there, but I never did, because it turned out just to be a different calling, a different role needed just to be, and there was lots of stuff to do, and it just wasn't right to, my God, I've only been doing this for a minute and my arm hurts. So how long I haven't done this for. It wasn't right to record it there. It's just I needed to be there and be a priest, a vicar to them. So now I'm here in my new job, in my new office, and if you follow me before, there's the bookshelf. It is messy. Still kind of planning. Today I've been planning this area, which is a mess. I think I'm going to make it a new recording area, and I've got all my computer stuff over here. My desk is here for a reason, because there is my new church. This is my new house. The office is in the house. The house goes around all that way. But this is my house. Just check I got my keys. And it's big. Oh my God. But the funny thing is, right, this used to be in the grounds of the old vicarage. The old vicarage just behind, and this used to be in the grounds of the old vicarage. So look at all that land over there. A bit blurry, but you can see it's mine. All down the street. Now let's see if we can get a bit of manual focus down there. It's getting a bit dark. All down there, where that road goes, used to be the vicarage gardens, the old vicarage gardens. Get me back in focus. And now they sold it, built 6 houses, big ones like this. So this is my new vicarage, all very exciting. And we've got like a front garden and a back garden. So here's the back garden. Over there, it goes around the corner. And then there's fields behind, and we're just outside a big town, but it doesn't feel like it when you look out there. It was really beautiful. And then you get all this side. I'll tell you why. Because the church, which is behind me, we're going to go in, is got this boundary wall all the way along. So the vicarage had to kind of fill that boundary wall, so it's really big. So talk about stuff that's going on here, just behind. We want to get a garden room put there. Hopefully that's in planning stages at the moment. If we do, that frees up me and the vicarage, because everything that I do in my role is in there. Families affected, and the Church of England are kind of recognising that, and modern kind of families and vicars, they're trying to move stuff out of the vicarage. So that's my office there, where I just come from, and into stuff outside, so I can hopefully, if that comes, get all my work done outside. My family can have a peace and not have that vicar life forced upon them. So we got these stairs, so it's a really short way to work. So there's the stairs. So yeah, there's my house, there's the church. Down this path here is the new-ish graveyard, because this graveyard we can't have any more burials in. And up here is the entrance that I go to, the back door. So last night I was walking to the church on here, and I slipped over and I got so muddy. My wife laughed when I got home. So I'm going to go on a rare thing and go through the front door. So Bearton's a village which is just outside a place called Aylesbury, which is down the road there. There's a busy main road to a place called Milton Keynes, so you get a lot of traffic going through. And So this place called Bearton, but it's a parish, so it's like an area that the church has. So the Church of England have parishes. So we've got Bearton here, then we've got Watermead, and then we've got Buckingham Park, which I think is like a couple of miles away. There's about 9,000 people in this parish. We've got a little village up there called Holcott. Used to have a church up there, but it closed. So I'm just here in this one church, and that is why I am half-time and spend the other half doing this, just panicking. So I thought I forgot my keys, and if I forgot my keys, then I can't get into the church. So let's go down here, because one, I never come in this door, so I don't know which is my key to get in. Here's the church behind. Really beautiful church. Very beautiful church. First vicar here was from the 1294, a guy called Robert de Tame, and so there's been a church on this site since at least 1294. Excuse me if I faff around with these keys. And I am the latest one of that long line of vicars, which is really quite amazing actually. Now if I can't get into the church around here, I'm going to go around the back door and then let everyone take the mickey out of me, because I don't know which key goes in the which door. I know, should have realised that the gold key goes in the gold hole. So this is a lovely one of those old doors. What I'm going to do, typical Church of England thing, is to lock the door just so we don't get disturbed. So this is the porchway into the church. Going into, again, this lovely, this is a proper old door. Going into the church now. This church is really special because it hasn't changed really inside since the 1400s. So this has now become what we call a grade 1 listed building, and so you really can't do anything. You can't put anything into the walls, or it's just really difficult to do anything. So the lights which are here, these kind of chandelier lights, are put very sympathetically into the roof. So it really just is really old. And one thing about this church is quite cold, because the radiators are big cast iron radiators, quite old, but all the heat goes out for these windows up there. So that's one of the big issues that we have, is it can get quite cold. But it is a beautiful church, very much called here as well. It's been amazing. What's great about this church is the seating can move, so we can do things in the church, and we've done bazaars, and they have meals in here, and lots of stuff. So it's just become this place that isn't used. It becomes a place that is flexible and can be used. So that's what happened in my last church, in my curacy, and it was great. But this church is very different because it's very limited on what you could do. The floor is all higgledy-piggledy, loads of different old floor. It's got such character, which is amazing. So let's take you around. So here's one of the most special things here. This font here for baptisms, let's get a bit of focus on that, is being repaired a bit, but that is from the 1200s. So that font, 800 years old. Can you imagine all of the people who have been baptised in that, adults and children, because we've baptised children in the Church of England for the last 800 years. That's really, really special. So that font was here from before this church, and it's quite beautiful. And around here, where they have done the repairs, at some point there's kind of a knotty thing, and I'm looking at making a new logo using that, because I think that's so iconic. So that's really special. So in the old days, they used to put wooden floor down across the stone floor, so it would keep people warm, because having your feet for a long time on a stone floor be quite cold. So we got this parquet flooring, and what would be lovely to do is to bring it back up and make it back to restore how it was when we were first here. Always have to check if I'm in focus. So this is my stool here. This is where I sit on a Sunday and lead the service. Usually sit here, but we got now the nativity scene here, and then once that gets put away, once we come out of that part of the Anglican calendar, then we go back facing forward instead of facing sideways. Over here we've got what we call the Lady Chapel. Carpet is down here, try and make it a bit warmer, and it's where we have at the moment some of the meetings. If they're not in the vicarage, we have them here, depending on size of people coming. So, and again, this was done to try free up the vicarage, to have it as a family home. We've got modern, we've got a TV in here, just been got on a mission grant, and that's for our new, at the moment we call it family service, but we want to change the name to something more kind of neutral, as it were, and includes everybody. And so that's going to be used. First time we used it over Christmas, which was great. That's looking down into the church, which is stunning. So, because it's an old church, and it's grade 1, you can't do too much to it. So you are limited with doing new things. So, kind of, how do we, as we move forward, as we engage with those 9,000 people out there, how do we upgrade the sound system? Because the sound system's not as good. You know, nowadays everyone records their sermons for the people who can't come. How do we put something in, maybe to beam out across the internet our services and stuff like that, when you can't put anything in the wall? So there's, kind of a lot of thinking to go on here. I just walked straight below the bow tower. So here, and if you remember outside, is the bell tower. So we got 6 bells, I think it is here, and a bell over there, Sanctus Bell, which is the oldest one from like 1678. That's one that we ring on Sunday when we do communion. And then we got 6 more. And so they have bell ringing practice on Friday, and they ring the bells before the service on Sunday. All very beautiful, so you can hear it across the village, which is a way that they used to call people to come to the service and let people know that the service is on. This is sanctuary, but what's really special about in the sanctuary is this here again. Let's get me out of the way and focus on this. That there is a plaque, a memorial to those who died, so husband and wife, and you can see the children, and then they've got these ones who are sleeping, and that's from the 1600s, 1621, that was put up, and it's in English. Now, usually when you have those, there would be most of the time in Latin, and it's been see how I hate graffiti, and it's got graffiti on just up here, and the graffiti is from 1701, I think, or 1710. The guy actually put 17010, so I don't know what it was. So kind of the graffiti in itself becomes historical, but that is quite a special thing in this church. So in this church we have 2 services. We have a really traditional service where we robe up. We've got hymns, we use the organ, and it's a communion, and quite high as well church. So when we say high church, it's more Anglo-Catholic, or more Catholic, so you would see me in my robes. And then we've got a family service, which we have once a month, and hopefully we'll do that more, and that's more contemporary. And at the moment we don't use the organ, we've got CDs, but we're hoping that we can get more people, so we can then start to get people to play in the band, and then get modern, more contemporary worship, which shows of the services that are growing at the moment. So, but they have done great things in this church to make it more usable, and the thinking has to go in this when you're not allowed to put anything into the walls. So down here we have, this is the kitchen area. Let's just put the lights on. So this is the kitchen area. We've got cupboard spaces for keeping all our robes. So this used to be part of the church, part of the worshiping part, but over here, in here, turn the light switch. Oh, there we go. A little kitchen, and so it's not built into the walls. It's kind of built as a freestanding thing, so we can serve tea, coffee, heat things up. So you can start using the place. There was a photo, so yeah, you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. So that was this area, very clear, and now it's got all the cupboards, so we use it as an area to get ready before any of the services. And this is finish the sentence. Get ready for any of the services, and then we can put everything away, and they're all in one place. Sound system and things like that in here as well. Haven't got up there yet. That's a key to the bell tower, not the key, the door to the bell tower. So can't wait to get up there on the roof, because I love heights. So and apparently we do something called Teddy's from the Tower with the kids. Great local engagement with the church, and these guys fundraise so well. They do so many things, and it's really well supported, which is amazing, and great outreach for the church. So this is a very, very different place to where I was before, and if you follow me before or check out some of the old videos, you'll see that the other place, I've been back to it since, and you know, it's just got everything you would want, but this has got this is so special, and it's trying to understand how we can make this place engaging and modern, but bring out and keep its beauty, because it is so gorgeous, and they're not changing since the 1500s. I mean, just, you know, if you took out these lights, this is how it would be then. Forget about the organ, but you know, really there's not too much that has changed, and that's something that's really special, and it's bringing that out, and there's such history here. And I keep looking down on the floor. We got loads of graves, and I walk around and I just see the dates, and there's people from the 1700s and 1800s, and this is just like the history that is in this church being so old. It's so special, and so you're trying to hold that, but also make it contemporary and alive, so people will want to come to the church. No point in keeping it lovely as it is without it being full of people, because then it becomes a building, and the church is not about the building, it's about the people. But there is something to be said of having a place here that everybody knows about, and everybody knows this church. So interestingly, they got a Facebook page for the village, and the main picture on the Facebook page is this church, because we are along the main road. Everyone does drive past it. People who have asked where have I gone, and I say it's a place called Bearton. It's on the road out of Aylesbury to Milton Keynes, and they go, oh, I know, oh, it's on the right hand side, doesn't it, because you drive that way. And so this place is so well known, and it's about getting out to the other communities, well, this community and the other communities. Now, what's hard is having a look at this map now. You'll see that the place called Watermead and Buckingham Park, and there's other areas on there that are really far away, and these are new estates, you know, up to 10 years old, I think, and they're built like rabbit warrens, and they haven't really got a centre, and it's really, you know, not a lot of substantial centre, not like a town centre or a village centre. They got like these little plazas with a, you know, a takeaway and a hairdresser, usually in a pub. And it's really hard then to get out there, get down the streets, because the streets are all windy, and you could get lost in there. So how do we as a church, and me as the vicar, get out there and engage with them? Well, one of the great things is social media. I've done a couple of Facebook video posts onto them saying, hey, this is me and this is what we're doing. and we're getting more out there, more recordings of what we do, and so people can see that this church is active, alive. And when we start to also do more things as we start understanding what the needs are in the local community. So I keep having to swap arms because honestly I haven't done this for a long time, not even looking to see if I was in focus. So this is really exciting. We really felt called here. We've stepped out in faith. It's half time, it's half pay, but we're going where God's called us, and we are so at peace with that. And it's really exciting. Not a church actually on paper that I would expect to have come to at all. Not necessarily the tradition that I was, my natural tradition as it were, but I can do the services. I actually love the services. My spirituality has grown over the last few years, so that's why it's easy for me to come to a church that's slightly different from what I would normally do, and marry the two up, and me also learn from a new spirituality. But God called us here, and I say us, it was me, but my family as well, and it's really exciting to see what He's going to do here, and what direction we're going to go in. We're very blessed. So it's it's exciting. It's really, really exciting. So very strange living next door. Doesn't take me really long to get to the church. In fact, it's funny, sometimes I've run over to the vicarage when having coffee to get something or get a book for someone because it's so close. And we're here. Look, what else? Just try to pick up. The walls are so old that they've got these paintings, and over here, if you see it there, trying to focus in, some patterns of very old on there. So you can see, in those times when this, because every church, most of the church in the Church of England were Catholic churches. We were the Church of England, even though most people think the Church of England came out of the Reformation. Actually, the Church of England was around since Augustine came all those years ago, and it was a Catholic church. So this was a Catholic church, and it became an Anglican church. But it still has remnants of Catholicism in here on the walls. And it's good that it reminds us that actually this church is old, and so many people have been in here praying, worshipping God. So this church, I don't know if I said, I don't think I did, it's called St. James the Great. So this church is named after St. James. And what's again interesting about this church is that down there, the altar end is slightly off to the rest of the church. So when I do the communion, I look down, it's not straight. It's like they built the church and they realised they got it wrong. So when they realise they get it wrong, they put the bit right instead of keeping the church on the same angle for the rest of the church. The chancel, we call it, up there is slightly off to the rest of the church. So you don't look straight down, you look slightly off. It's a funny thing they did when they built churches. It was the same at my old church in St. Mary's. So, yes, so we're here. It's really exciting. Lots going on because this is the vicar side, this is the church side. As I said, as I was back in the vicarage there, in the office, I've been researching as well to make a little proper studio in the office, to take a little corner and to be able to record videos and make it nice and make it more engaging. So I've been researching that today, which is interesting because for half the week I'm in a sense thinking all things here and what can we do, and then I've got to try flip my mind over to something else that's slightly different, and that's a big thing. That in my mind, that's quite like, wow, this is difficult. So that's something I got to get used to. But again, we know that God's called me here, and that's exciting. So it's not only what happens here, it will happen on here, and how these two marry up in a vicar and this is a quite cool thing, isn't it? In this church, this is this old, it is this beautiful, using modern technology to engage with people out there with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and helping bring more people into church and to know him and to love him. It's a real nice, beautiful marry up. So keep looking around to see what I want to tell you, but I'm going to leave it at 20 some odd minutes. This is my new place. I have moved on again. I'm here for the next few years, and there'll be lots of exciting stuff going on. These guys know that I do this, and that they've already been caught up in the filming for the Facebook posts. So you will now see a lot more of what I do in my life and this journey of how we use a beautiful old building like this, how we worship God, but also how we use this with this technology to engage with everybody out there. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be full of God and trusting in God. And so subscribe to this channel to keep up with what's going on here, so you don't miss anything, and pray for me, this mission, this church, and everything going on, discernment and being faithful to God in this calling. And I'll see you soon. Bye.